Battle of Karboğazı, Turkish, Karboğazı Savaşı, was a clash between Turkish nationalists and the French battalion on Toros Mountains during the Turkish War of Independence. Karboğazı literally means snow passage. The Ottoman Empire had been defeated in the First World War. According to the Armistice of Mudros, the Ottoman army was disarmed. Although the Ottoman Empire had to agree to give up vast areas, most of Middle East, the Allies further retained the power of controlling what was left of the Ottoman Empire, namely Turkey. In this context, Allies occupied Mersin on the 17th of December 1918, just 47 days after the armistice. Soon France occupied most of South Turkey. Since the southwest was under Italian control, Turkey lost all Mediterranean sea coast. French planned to control the mountains. France tried to control the sea coast and the alluvial plains like Çukurova, Cilicia of the antiquity. But the control of the small settlements on Toros Mountains was difficult. Moreover, because of the nationalistic opposition, which would ultimately end up in Turkish Republic, the Gülek Pass, Cicilian Gates of the antiquity, which is the main pass from Mediterranean coast to Central Anatolia, was under continuous threat from the Turkish nationalists' forces, also called Kuva-yi Milliye. A battalion under Major Mesnil was commissioned for the task of securing French presence around Gülek Pass. The headquarters of the battalion was in the village of, now a district center, Pozantı, and a small hospital in the nearby village of Belemedik was established under the supervision of Mesnil's wife. Mesmil's assistant was Georges Journois, who would fight against Germany as a brigadier general in the Second World War. Mesnil also had a group of guides who were actually local Armenians. However, in the spring of 1920, nationalists began controlling the railroad from Pozantı to south, and Pozantı was effectively blocked from Çukurova. The clash, after receiving approval of General Dufoux, the general commander, by airplane messages, Mesnil decided to evacuate Pozantı and return to French lines by a surprise retreat during the night of the 26 to 27 May. According to official report, the unit consisted of 9 officers, 696 soldiers, 4 cavalrymen, 19 wounded officers and soldiers, 44 civilian Greek and Armenians, as well as 39 Turkish prisoners. Mesnil also left some wounded soldiers back with a letter written to Turkish commanders asking for fair treatment for the wounded soldiers. However, the villagers from the village of Yalıçukuru, now called Gülek, located the battalion, and they informed Kemal Bey, later Kemlerkin, the local militia chief of Kuva-yi Milliye. Kemal Bey with some members of Adel tribe and villagers waited for the battalion in ambush. They had taken up positions on the 2 opposite sides of the valley named Karboğazı. The French had the advantage in numbers and superior artillery, but the nationalists had the advantage of cover. Early on 27 May, the shootings began from both sides of the valley. French soldiers tried to escape to open space towards Pozantı, but they ran into a third group of nationalists. Towards the evening, after heavy casualties, the battalion surrendered. They were led to Yalıçukuru, where they signed the protocol of surrender with Lieutenant Hassan Ank, nicknamed Kara Afet. The prisoners received bulgur with meat and ayran after their surrender. They were held captive until the 25th of September 1921. POW and other casualties. The total number of prisoners was 530, including Mesnil and Journois. Also 2 cannons, 8 machine guns and more than 90 mules were seized by the nationalists. The death casualty of the French side was heavy, although a website about Sicilian campaign veterans gives the number as half the battalion, about 400. This figure seems to be somewhat exaggerative under the light of the figures given above. The exact figure is not known. Consequences. Karboğazı was a relatively small clash, but it effectively ended French plans to seize Toros Mountains. In 1921, France agreed to withdraw from Turkey by the Cilicia Peace Treaty and Accord of Ankara.